This is like Groundhog Day for me. I feel like we've already talked about this. I think a lot of you who watched my previous video thinks that I fixed the problem. Unfortunately, I've got good news and I got bad news. The good news is I do now know what the problem is, and I truly believe it's fixed. The bad news is I had to go to the dyno to realize the problem was not fixed. So this video is all for the person who has bought a twin turbo kit, but the base springs are not enough and they want to use a boost controller. And in doing so, they may have to change the stock Wastegate springs to bring up that boost level, right? And from there, they hook everything else up. If that's you, and I'm imagining it is, that's most people, right? This is going to be very helpful and informative because trust me, I will save you at least not one, but probably two trips to the dyno or with your shop or whatever. If you're doing this yourself, watch this and don't get caught like I did. This is my fault. I'm doing this video kind of out of order now that I have all the information. It's the weekend, I've already been to the dyno and I know what the problem was, but we're gonna rewind back real quick and kind of pick up where the last video left off, where I was talking about how I was going to fix the problem. Now, the one thing that I will say is the problem that I did have in the last video where the line had a cut in it, right, from either heat or abrasion, still totally something you need to solve, right? So it's not like that was a bad video. So we're gonna start off there in this video. The one caveat I will say is at the time I went to the dyno, I had an issue with UPS and some erasing. I didn't get all of the AN lines that I'd hoped for. So you're gonna see one AN line and one still rubber line. Nothing I could do about that. So let's jump into that. You'll see what I did to fix it, and then we'll head to the dyno and see what happens.
All right, so here's my solution. Look, it's temporary, okay? So I gotta go to the dyno tomorrow morning, and I can't make this perfect, but I think it solves my problem. So this is the one that's close. As you can see, I used my AN fittings and a 90, and now we know it's not touching the exhaust. I mean, it's still gonna get hot there, okay? But it's not touching the exhaust. This is the one that I wish I could have made hardline to, but unfortunately, the parts just didn't come. The good news is there's at least 2 inches there. It's not touching the heat shield. Okay, I've got it zip tied up out of the way. So for the intent of getting us to the dyno tomorrow, I think this is gonna be okay. We're gonna take it down. We're gonna throw some boost stain in it, put a little air in the tires. Now, it's cooler out now than it was when I had it on the dyno last time, but we're on drag radials, and drag radials are really not what you want on the dyno. So we'll see.
All right, it's a beautiful morning. The next morning, didn't really get a chance to test this thing on the street because it started to rain, and I'm a dummy. And I took it to the car wash before actually I got everything hooked back up. Took it to the car wash, and when I got done, it started to rain, and I didn't want to be caught in the rain with this setup, so I took it straight home. So we're gonna roll the dice. I think everything's hooked up correctly. We're headed to the dyno right now.
I have to make big changes. So that was 45% duty cycle, and it made less boost.
What the hell?
Well, we're back from the dyno. Not super excited. Basically, let me give you the rundown. Essentially what's going on is we corrected all the issues that we had beforehand. okay? So beforehand, we had the 2 ports swapped because we thought that was our issue. So we got those corrected, okay? We inspected the lines. We found one little nick in one of the lines. We replaced that with a hard line. That's good. Got at the dyno thinking everything would work. Kind of same issue. We cannot get the boost controller, no matter what you command it to come up off of basically the lowest boost setting. It's making like right around 7 pounds. It makes right around 800 wheel horsepower on 7 pounds. Great numbers, but I want to be able to turn it up. So we swapped the solenoids. So tuner had another Mach solenoid, swapped the solenoids, troubleshot that, even put pressure to the solenoid, and we could hear it clicking, right? With power to the solenoid, applied positive pressure as if it was seeing boost, we could see the solenoid working, okay? So we know the solenoid's working. We tried both. We also pressure tested the new lines that I ran. They're not leaking. So basically the lines and the solenoid are good. That kind of leaves us with the gate, right? The wastegates could be an issue, or maybe even the boost controller, but I kind of think it's not the boost controller. We tried pressure testing the ports on the wastegate by just hooking up a little mighty vac and testing them, and they're not holding pressure. So I think what's going on is we have an issue with our gates. Maybe the diaphragms aren't sealing correctly, and we are leaking boost out of the top of the diaphragm. So it's acting as if we have an open port, and it's just basically, it's like there's no boost controller there. So went underneath the car, I marked everything. I'm gonna pull both gates out. I just got off the phone with Hellion and also TurboSmart. And TurboSmart said it's very important that you get kind of good crush on those diaphragms before you tighten that locking ring. And I think maybe that's not what I didn't do that. So we're gonna try some soapy water test, and we're gonna use a mighty vac, and we're gonna see if I can get these things to leak on the bench. And if I can, we'll see if I can fix it. Okay, took this out of the kitchen. Don't worry, wife, it's just soap. Put some soap on there, put a mighty vac to it. We're gonna try and put some pressure on this thing and see where it's leaking. Well, it's clearly leaking at the diaphragm. Let me see if I can't put a plug on the one side. This is the part of the video where I really stress reading the instructions. Now, this is where you can get yourself in a little bit of trouble. If you've never owned a turbocharged car like myself and you're dealing with wastegates for the first time, right? When you install the turbo, the instructions are just pretty much assuming that you're gonna go ahead and take the wastegates as they come out of the box with the 5-pound springs in them and throw them in your car. Now, if you swap the springs, you may get lucky and not run into the issue, but as you can see, I went 0 for 2 on this one. I did not read the instructions that came with the wastegates. What's crucial, super, super crucial, is it looks like you can install those top hats, the top part of the wastegate, in any orientation 360 degrees. That's not 100% true, okay? There's little detents, and I'm gonna show you the instructions, these little pictures right here. Essentially what was happening was I was putting the tops on and tightening them down, but because it's like a key, they weren't sitting perfectly down in there. They were flat, but they weren't perfectly down in there. So you can tighten that locking collar all you want, you're not crushing the diaphragm, okay? They show you in the instructions, they recommend that you use like an arbor press or a drill press or something where or a clamp, you can put pressure down on it first to hold it in place before you tighten the locking collar. The second thing I'll say is take any ports that you have, whether it's a plug or a nipple or an AN fitting, out of the top port of the hat, because if you don't, when you put that ring on there, you won't be able to visually look and see that you're getting good crush on the diaphragm, that everything's sitting down in there. So don't skip that step either. Anyways, I did that, I got it back in there. I re-pressure tested everything with the soapy water. Good news is with soapy water, no more leaks. So I confirmed 100% that I am not leaking out of anywhere, and I was able to build pressure, but I kind of ran into something that I don't love. I'll show you that here right now. To about 10 pounds, okay? A little over. See that? The needle's holding right there, okay? We're on the top port, needle's holding pressure, that's what we want, okay? Now, let's go and switch it to the other one. Okay. Pump it up. See that? The pressure's falling. It's not, now before we were getting bubbling and all kinds of stuff. We're not getting that now, but the pressure is falling. You really don't want that. You want that pressure on the top to be steady. I think the diaphragm is bad. I know the video was a little shaky. I was trying to do it with one hand, but the takeaway is one of the two gates holds pressure on the top portion. So from the diaphragm up to the top, totally rock solid, right? The other one holds pressure, but then it bleeds off, right? I don't know if I had 10 of these sitting on a bench and I tested every single one, if some of them would leak, if they're just not perfect, or if that's a diaphragm issue. I spoke with my tuner. He seems to think it's not a huge deal. I also called TurboSmart. I spoke with a gentleman there twice yesterday, and he was like, it's honestly, he's like, based on what you're saying, I sent him some pictures of the diaphragm itself. He's like, he doesn't think it's a huge issue. In my mind, I would prefer if neither of them leaked, but nonetheless, I got it all back together. I got it back on the car and I took it out on the street, and I am able to turn up the boost. So it is now working. Now, when I turn up the duty cycle, I can increase boost over wastegate pressure. And I really think that that was the issue. Part of it was the vacuum line, but the big thing was the diaphragm leaking, which is how I put it together. And that's an easy mistake to make if you've never did this. Hey guys, I really appreciate you watching. Listen, I do this whole thing by myself. I don't have any sponsors. You know, it's just me. It's one camera. I'm in the garage by myself most of the time. It would really help me out if you guys would hit that like and subscribe button so that more people can watch my videos. I hear all the time randomly from people, oh my gosh, how does your channel not have more views? Or I found this super helpful, thank you so much. Like more people should be watching this. Well, if you like and subscribe, the way the algorithm works, it will start showing it to more people. So do me a favor, if you found this helpful, if this helped you out, do that little bit for me. We'll keep putting more content out here. Cannot wait to get this thing back on the dyno for hopefully the last time, get it all set up. The boost control will be all done at that point, and I think they're gonna do one more roll racing event so you can see this thing. We also got a better camera, so we got a GoPro 360, and we've got a mount for the back of the car, so we'll get some videos with that next time we're out racing. I know a lot of people were like, man, I wish you had a different camera. We're gonna have it, okay? So end of October is when that is supposed to happen, but we'll see you next time on Truck and Roll. Thanks for watching.